is what? To them, paradise is as though they see it and are enjoying its favors or bliss. To them, hell is also as if they see it and are suffering punishment in it. فهم والجنة كمن قد رآها فهم فيها منعمون وهم والنار كمن قد رآها فهم فيها معذبون. So when something nasty or something wrong is suggested to me, all right, I shouldn't look at the immediate joy which might have, experience. Look at as if this is the fire, is the fire of the hell. That is وَهُمْ وَالنَّارُ كَمَنْ قَدْ رَآهَا فَهُمْ فِيهَا مُعَذَّبُونَ. So in sermon number 193 or 192, we see a long discussion. You can read it later on, but here I'm only concentrating and focusing on 10 characteristics mentioned here. Then we move to sermon 87 in my copy and 86 with the red one. This is about the qualities of the believers and characteristics of the mu'mineen. And here, 86 or 87. The one which starts, O creatures of Allah, the most beloved of Allah is. Then after 6 lines, let's read. He looks at and perceives. He remembers Allah and enhances the tempo of his actions. He drinks sweet water too, whose source his way has been made easy. So he drinks to satisfaction and takes the level path. He has put off the clothes of desires and got rid of worries, except one worry, peculiar to him, and that is what? The consequences of evil acts might happen to me. So always I think that it is not this action which I'm going to do, what I'm going to face the consequences and the negative points coming from that action. He is safe from misguidance and company of people who follow their passions. He has become the key to the doors of guidance and the lock for the doors of destruction. And lastly, I'm referring to the maxim number 333. I don't know what is the number in your copy, but you can look at it later. Let's concentrate on this. Imam alayhi salam speaks about 14 characteristics in maxim 333. What are the maxims? The short saying at the end of the Nahjul Balagha, where inshallah we will choose and select 5 sessions after the break, or when we have first week of Ramadan, we'll start again, we resume again, and we'll choose from the maxims towards the end of Nahjul Balagha, but it is number 333. I read it in Arabic first, then let's translate it. وقال عليه السلام في صفة المؤمن المؤمن بشره في وجهه وحزنه في قلبه أوسع شيء صدرا وأذل شيء نفسا يكره الرفعة ويشنأ السمعة طويل غمه بعيد همه كثير صمته مشغول وقته شكور صبور مغمور بفكرته ظنين بخلته سهل الخليقة لين العريكة نفسه أصلب من الصلد وهو أذل من العبد. So these are 14 characteristics mentioned by Imam Ali alayhi salam. And if I may suggest that we write them down and we try to practice them in our life a week after a week, or a day after a day. First of all, a believer has a cheerful face, a sorrowful heart. There are some people, if they have some difficulties at work, the moment they come home, they want to punish everybody because the difficulties they had at work. I know, because I've gone through this problem, that when you are at work, for example, going as early as, for example, 7 or 7:38 to catch up with your work, and coming 5:30, 6 o'clock, exhausted, and you have met many people, many difficulties, many problems. But when you reach home, okay, there are people who want to punish the family and the children because of what? The problems they had at work. This is not wrong. This is not right. And there are people who are, when they sit with their friends and their colleagues, they are happy, they cheer, they laugh. But when it comes to their spouses, oh, they are so angry, and as if they are deaf and they can't speak anything. They don't know how to treat the spouse or the children. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, no, look, al-mu'minu bishruhu fi wajhihi wa what? Huznuhu fi qalbih. A believer has a cheerful face, a sorrowful heart. So if there is anything wrong, anything you feel sorrow and sad about it, keep it inside your heart. But you smile all the time. When you try to be in meeting others, not reflecting the problems you had inside, okay, then these are two signs of a believer. Okay, a believer has a cheerful face, a sorrowful heart, a very broad chest, or what I call it, the broad-mindedness. Unfortunately, some people are so narrow-minded that close their eyes and they are so narrow in their understanding. They think as if everything is so strict and they don't allow any other opinions. No. Listen to others. See their problems. See the qualities or the whatever, they have in mind. They might be right and you might be wrong. So this broad-mindedness, or what Imam alayhi salam calls this, a very broad chest full of generosity and a very humble heart. He hates high position and dislikes renown. There are people who want to be the managing director, to be the boss. And they fight to become what? Minister and MP. And they do every nasty thing, even they cheat. In Iraq, they cheat to present some wrong documents about their qualifications, yeah? False documentation, that to become, oh, I am MP, and after 3 months, 4 months, they realize that all the documentation, all the qualifications they produced were wrong and it is fabricated, yeah? Just to known to be al-wazir, to be al-amir, to be al-rais. Imam alayhi salam, no, don't compete for that. It comes automatically, all right. If people love you and come to you, naturally is all right. But don't fight for it. Mu'min says that he hates high position and dislikes renown. His grief is long, his courage is far-reaching. Now, his silence is much. What's the point of what? Being a chatterbox. There is a phrase in Arabic, إن كان الكلام من فضة فالسكوت من ذهب. If the value of the speech and talking is silver, the value of keeping silent is gold. And we know always that the value of the gold is much better and much more than the value of the silver. All right? So silence, his silence is much, and his time is occupied. A believer doesn't have spare time. Always doing something positive. No time to waste. There is no time just to spend in vanity and nothingness. No. Always be creative. His time is occupied. He is grateful, enduring. Shakurun sabur, buried in his thought, sparing in his friendship with others, bright demeanor, and a soft temperament. Sahlul khaliqa layyun al-arika. Sometimes we negotiate with somebody about a problem, and I've gone through that hundreds of times. There is dispute between husband and wife. We try to reconcile. He sticks to his points, she sticks to her points. You try to consult, you try to minimize the differences. You try to do some sort of counseling, advise him. No, they are here, they are here. And I say, look, it is impossible to bring you together. Why? Because supposedly we have the courtyard and we have 15, for example, stairs here and 15 stairs there. If the husband is standing on stair 15 and the woman is on stair 15, we never come to bring them together. So we ask them that you come down for 2 steps, and we ask the other one, you come and lower your expectation for 3 steps. You come 1 and you come 2. You come 1 and you come 2. Unless they reach to the courtyard, then we bring their hands together and try to do reconciliation. But if you insist that you remain as you are, I'm not going to change. You expect everybody else to change and come to you once you are not ready to sacrifice. You are not ready to lower your expectations. No, this is not true. But in buying and selling, sometimes some people are in transactions so tight and so strict. No, either this amount or nothing. Either these conditions, or just forget it. But some people say, okay, what is the price of that land or house? Okay, this amount. Can you reduce it to that? Okay, can you think of some sort of help or assistance because we are tight? I mean, can you reduce? So they are ready to do it. That's called by Imam Ali alayhi salam, Sahlul khaliqa layyinul arika. This means that they have bright demeanor and soft temperament. And he is stronger than a stone or a rock, but humble or humbler than a slave. So do you think that Imam alayhi salam is talking about something controversial? نفسه أصلب من الصلب وهو أذل من العبد. In personality, in the heart, in the mind, in the faith, in understanding what are the principles of religion, is so strong. But inside himself, things so humble. And humbleness is one of the signs of the true knowledge according to Imam Ali alayhi salam. Means that if you look at somebody who is by increasing his knowledge, his humbleness is increased, which means the ego is lowered. Yeah? That's the true knowledge. But the moment you become master in physics, for example, or immunology, and when you are going higher to be PhD, okay, you feel, oh, nobody can talk to me. It happens to Neil Armstrong, you know, that was among the first people who invaded the moon with Apollo 12. The moment he came down, he slapped his wife on the face and said, go. What's that? Because he thought, oh, he's so high that now he's higher than his wife, and his wife is not compatible with him, because he thought that if he gained the knowledge of being, for example, conquering the moon, which he didn't conquer the moon, yeah? Now he's higher than others. So when you get the knowledge, when you get higher in knowledge, if you become more humble, this is the sign of the true knowledge. But when becoming non-knowledgeable, you become more arrogant, then you have to know that this is not the true knowledge. Okay. So we spent today some time in exploring the signs and characteristics of the believers, and we see that in comparison to the ayah or the ayat from the Quran in Surah Al-Anfal, we see how these work together to do what? To build a personality full of faith a personality of the believer that's strong in personality, strong in decision, strong in mind, but very mild in treating others. Smiling, helpful, ready to compromise. And all these with something which we started with, that they think before they talk. Not they talk, then try to think about whether what they said was right or not. Having all these things, I tell you about one great teacher I had, that sometimes when he was trying to talk, I knew that he was so eloquent and so great in talking, but he was murmuring and keeping silent and not answering immediately. So when this happened 5, 6 times, I said, "Sir, sometimes I see that you have some difficulty in talking. Is there something that in your tongue or your speech?" So in my ignorance, I thought that he needs some speech therapy or something like that. He said, "No, I weigh the words and try to think of them under my tongue. And when I think that it is right and it's true, then I utter it and pronounce it and announce it." So this must be a lesson for all of us, that at least we control our tongues. And by the way, the hadith from the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that every morning, all the organs and limbs ask the tongue. Sorry, the tongue asks thee. The tongue every early morning asked all the organs, all the limbs, "How are you? How is your morning?" They say, "If you are okay, we are okay." Which means that to have a safe and sound tongue, healthy in a spiritual way, not in the physical way, yeah? Healthy tongue, all other parts of our being and our existence will be all right. But if there is any wrong in our tongues, so backbiting, slandering, teasing others, or talking about something we are not sure about. ولا تقف in Surah Al-Isra, Surah number 17. ولا تقف ما ليس لك به علم إن السمع والبصر والفؤاد كل أولئك كان عنه مسؤولا. So don't utter something which you are not sure about. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to act in this way and to combine whatever we learn from the Quran and from the sayings of Imam Ali alayhi salam in our life. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.